A lesson in boundaries. I hold this page between us like a saber, because we are already standing too close. I open my mouth and there you are beneath me, baby bird, waiting to be fed this regurgitated nutrients. There is a need in you, naked and primal, a longing for what is mine, and I don't trust you not to take too much. So I hold this page between us like a barbed wire fence, hoping as you press your face against it, the tang of metal, the piercing of iron and electricity will guard against your wayward curiosity, will poke your eyes shut when they have seen enough. I hold this page between us like an old lady opens the door to her apartment, locks all still in place, never removing the chain, only cracking it a sliver long enough to see who is on the other side, and shit, it's you again. Like a bill collector. No, like a loan shark. You're asking for payment but willing to take limbs, blood, pain. You would just as easily see me stretched and broken. It would be equally beautiful to you. So I hold this page between us as a reminder that what I am willing to give you is finite, is not the never-ending, all-access Disney pass to my soul, is 9 by 11 with 1-inch margins, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And as I whisper my words to you, don't mistake me for soft-spoken. Feel the sledgehammers wrapped in velvet at the core of every stanza. Feel the bite of me. The gilded Ginzu knives I juggle with a grin, and know, if I were to speak any louder, I might deafen you. If I were to share much more, the rain of falling knives would slit you into ribbons, so I hold this page between us as much for your safety as for mine. What's good, people? Hi. Wow. How you doing? So that was my disclaimer on why I'm always on the page. All right. I got some new shit.
New shit!
This is a poem called Summoning Unicorns, and it is actually also the title of my next book, which is coming out next month. Yeah. I'm going to be dropping that February 27th, but I will not be alone. Silva, Marche, and my other friend Demeka, who couldn't be here this evening. The four of us are all going to release our books on February 27th. Come to the party. It's at Maxim's, 8 p.m., February 27th. You will love it, and you will love us. Yeah. All right. This is short. I have waited patiently, but the unicorns have not arrived. The pixies, the glitter-laden fairies, the cupids, the piercing suite of heart-shaped shadows do not appear in the firelight. Damn this goddamn darkness, where glitter and shimmer doesn't shine, and hearts get lost. Where are the motherfucking unicorns? I leave trails of corn nuts and black jelly beans, line the back porch with shots of top-shelf Irish whiskey, and offering an invitation. Nightly I burn my prayers to ash and chant sacred invocations above the blaze, waiting for a herd of golden hooves, a stampeding thunder, the silver ache of miracles materializing into thin air. I want real magic right fucking now. I know everybody seems to have forgotten about Trayvon Martin, but I didn't, so here's the poem for him, and for Eugene Bird, and for Amadou Diallo, and for, I mean, come on, you can add your own name. I am tired of this America. I am tired of the roles we've been drawn to play. From porch monkey to field hand, niggers, bitches, and slaves, to Uncle Ben still making rice, to Aunt Jemima tucking white children in real tight. From soldiers to cannon fodder, always dying in someone else's fight. We are athletes and musicians, comic relief and fuel for the prisons, caged in the census check boxes delineating us from them. It's always you, us, and them, even though we are citizens. Our citizenship comes hyphenated. We are never just Americans. Afro, yes. African, yes, sorta. Black hyphen American. Hyphen underprivileged, hyphen minority, hyphen welfare queen, hyphen nappy-headed hoe, hyphen junkie fiend, hyphen criminal accessory, hyphen ignorant pickaninny, hyphen scourge of every white city. From Emmett Till to our most disrespected U.S. president, we are all hyphenated brown skin beneath a hoodie. Spoiler alert, the black boy doesn't die in this poem. He never dies, and neither do I, and neither of our mothers will ever have to cry for the crimes of this America. Put a pen in my hand, and I will write it the way it should have been. Edit in the bulletproof vest, add a Bill and Ted telephone booth trip through time for ninja lessons. Lesson the boy into a master, give him wings a season early, no Icarus. He would be a careful pilot, only flying high enough to leap tall buildings, but no closer to heaven's gate. On his palm, I would tattoo a map of safe routes home. He would always have a safe route home. I would make Harry Potter lend him his invisibility cloak. It is only in visibility that we are captured and flattened into the caricature of what this skin and these eyes and this hair mean. But even my fictional rewrite holds no antidote to Zimmerman. He is a channel that doesn't change. The devil that doesn't disappear, the vampire that walks in daylight, not to slay others of its kind, but to remind us that certain monsters have immunity. No garlic, no stakes, no silver bullets, no holy water, no water holier than a mother's tears, and her tears cannot erase what I should never have seen. If only I could draw a new America, a place where freedom is really free, a place where there are no disclaimers, no hyphens dividing up humanity, where a shooter would also bleed and every gunshot that rings out would be a boomerang returned to sender with a vengeance. But the place I speak of has no vengeance, holds no hostage, holds no vestige of a past where we weren't free, and thus holds no present where we are still fighting to wake from this nightmare into the American dream. I dream a dream in Technicolor, a dream where my father and mother, sisters and brothers, and any shade of color kin won't meet the same end that Trayvon did. I got a lot of shit, so I'm gonna just keep going. Gotta get it out. Here we go. Both. They don't teach you to be both. You're either target or agent, victim or victor, conquered or conqueror, no grayness in the sword blade, simple clear-cut vectors trapped in a Darwinian compulsion to survive and be survived, and label yourself accordingly. Juxtapose yourself in the correct dichotomy, but I am not a victim. Brown skin, black skin, woman-bodied and able to exist within my multiplicities with ease. My contradictions are the greater truth of what goes unsaid, that we are all both, hurting and healing one another, learning from wounding and being wounded in this experiential practicum of humanity. The Cake Girl. I love weddings because there's plenty of consolation cake. Yards of it, whole sheets of flowered frosting announcing that, like ark animals, all of my friends have paired up. Even my gay friends. Even my weird, fucked up anarchist friends. Even my friends who swore they would only get married as an act of revolution have found that right combination of politically ostracized foreigner and become visa donors. Even my hippie vegan friends have beckoned me to toast with organic, sugar-free, gluten-free, apple-free fizzy water. With that carob nut monstrosity that passes for cake, so it is official. I am the last single person on the face of this earth. Oprah is calling. She wants an exclusive interview. She and Stedman got married secretly just last month, so she wouldn't have to be the last one. And I know she will lovingly pat my knee, eyes filled with empathy, when she asks how it feels to have fulfilled grandmother's Thanksgiving dinner prophecy. Well, that one's not getting married. And in the silence, the sensitive in-studio mics will pick up the ticking from the biological bomb within me. The unborn child seed rattling within the desert maraca of my womb. The natives are restless, clanking on the bars of me. Prisoners singing the a cappella gospel of "We want a mommy." But Daddy is the name of the favorite man in my life, and even he got married last week to a white girl 5 minutes older than me. The baby beings. Yes, I get to say these things. It's great. They gave me a microphone and everything. The baby beings have hired a negotiator, a corporate arbiter who plays hardballs with unions. They say, "Can't you be one of those unwed mothers?" And I whisper, "Well, that would still require me to have sex." And despite all the weddings, or maybe because of them, my primary relationship is with consolation cake. Yeah. Oprah will tell me that this is not healthy. Dr. Phil will yell that I don't know how to live. Ricky Lake and Geraldo Rivera will come out of obscurity to tag team tell me that even fat girls can find love. Ricky will flash her own wedding ring as evidence that these things are easy. But all I will hear, overlaid on the beats of baby beings bursting from me in their crimson exodus, refugees fleeing from my monthly homicidal hormonosode, is my grandmother saying, "Oh, I thought you were never getting married. I mean, if you were trying to get married, then you're doing it all wrong." I am doing it all wrong. Dancing the cha-cha slide with somebody's gay cousin who has mistaken my celebration garb for drag. Later we will both be disappointed by the lack of penis. I am doing it all wrong. Focusing on things like grad school and my career, when I should be at stripper pole class learning how to shake it like a contortionist and burning the feminist manifesto of everything I ever thought I wanted out of love. I am doing it all wrong, aiming myself like a loaded gun at any man who I think my family won't hate, at any man I think my friends could tolerate, at any man who could keep me from the stigma of being the cake girl, the one seated between Uncle Frank and the punch bowl. The one you saw at somebody else's wedding just last week, taking body shots and mainlining cake like free heroin. The one who gave the most amazing toast. So beautiful. So touching and perfect that even the chocolate fountain seemed to well with tears because my well wishes are crafted from the shrapnel of my failures. And come complete with painstakingly researched GPS coordinates to avoid every relationship mistake I've gone out of my way to make, to plot out like exploded landmines littered in the wake of me. Every toast is anchored in my own selfish prayer that if I can't get it right, at least you can. So don't mistake the shimmy for sarcasm. I really am rooting for you to succeed. I want to surf the wave of your triumph, eat your cake, drink your champagne, and lead the conga line like a victory parade and wish you well. Because in 10 years, if you're still married and you're still sane, I'll know there might be a chance that Grandma got it all wrong. So lately I've taken up yoga. Come up onto your knees. Transform into a table. Dip hips, back arching up, arise. Feet rooted, salute the sun, then bow to earth, hands planted, heart pouring out through fingertips. Uttanasana. Breath and motion, breath and flow, breathing forward. Open your chakras like gifts wrapped and left forgotten from one holiday to the next. Try to remember what's inside. Hope it's something you really wanted. Twist on the axis of your spine, align left and right, twist and spiral up and up, as though your spine were an umbilical cord to the universe. Spread your fingers, open your mouth, and Om. Relearn the secrets to your own body. Pay a white girl in spandex pants $12 to teach you how to tilt back your pelvic floor, draw your belly, and roll, roll, roll. Roll your shoulders, roll your neck, roll your ass, roll onto your back, roll your eyes. Yes, disobedient as a downward facing dog. Wonder about your past lives. Weren't you Nefertiti? Or Isis? Didn't you architect the pyramids? Weren't your love letters the alphabet that birthed a language? Your root chakra, the gateway to the womb that wove the double helix of 1,000 moons? Weren't your thighs the pillars of temples? Your shoulders arched back like bows, the tree trunks that sang Hosanna? Weren't your breasts the mountains where laws were forged and gravity had no meaning? Wasn't your heart the mystery the Sphinx used in his riddles? Your walk, the tidal wave that flooded the Nile again and again? Goddess, the hell are you doing here? Shavasana. Okay, so in my new book, I did this whole thing where, I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I like to write letters. Like, I write, little love letters, and I write thank you letters, and I write fuck you letters. So I have a whole series of letters in my next book. So I'm just going to read a couple of those. Dear heart, what the hell do you want? Do you even know? I try to listen to you, but you don't say much, and what you do say is incomprehensibly simple. By your reckoning, love is the answer to everything. But the square root of pi is not love. A tree falling in the woods with no one to hear it is not love. The probability that two people departing on trains from two separate locations at different velocities, each holding red umbrellas and headed to the same direction, will smile at each other, probably isn't love either. Chemistry, maybe. Physics, dumb luck, and genetic happenstance. But love? Maybe I just don't know what you mean. What it means that the organ in the center of me, the emerald chakra, beating the pulse of me, is always just radiating this need to love and be loved. To love and be loved. To love and believe that there is always, somewhere, everywhere, a corresponding impulse to be found. P.S. Yes, find me. Dear well-intentioned white person.
Yes. Is that well-intentioned white person? Yes.
I can't be your black friend. If you have to specify, and that is a label that you are superimposing on my place in your life, then chances are we aren't really friends. You are my community service outreach project. Something to pad my resume for when I apply to be the best human on the face of this earth. You are my supporting evidence, testimony that I can be kind even in the face of adversity. You are my adversity. Here are some things you can do to be less irritating. 1. Ask a question. No, not that question. That was a stupid question. I mean a good question. Like one that might not humiliate or offend me to have to answer. 2. Listen to the answer. Don't just stare and nod blankly, waiting for me to finish speaking so you can invite me to another dinner party that requires you to provide a diversity showcase so your other friends can see how down you are. 3. Stop listening to gangster rap like it's something we can share together. 4. No, you can't use the N-word, even if you are quoting Quentin Tarantino. Yes, the N-word is inappropriate in all situations, for the love of God. Stop. 5, don't touch my hair, ever. I know you want to, but no. 6, don't look so shocked when you ask me about my ancestors and I tell you they are from Iowa. Yes, really, Iowa. While your great-great-grandparents were sailing over from and fill in the blank with arbitrary European country, my great-great-grandma was picking burrs out of her hair from those asshole kids who were doing what they asshole kids love to do, tormenting her in Iowa. 7, Google the definition of diaspora. Apply it to history. 8, if you are curious as to what black people think, substitute black for the word white. If suddenly this question no longer makes sense because how can you possibly squish what all white people think into the views of one single representative, then apply that logic to insert the ethnic group of your choice. 9, find a cool-ass white friend who has taken a lot of social justice courses and wants to be an ally to you. 10, go hang out with that friend. Take some classes from people who are paid to help you become more educated, and in 3 to 5 years, feel free to write me that apology letter for all the ways you accidentally disrespected and dehumanized me. When you can name them all, and even have a brief inkling of the way you made me feel, then maybe we can take a shot at that whole friends thing. Until then, your black friend. Right, okay. All right, some oldies but goodies. This is a choose your own adventure. I can either do one about my dad or the Afro petting zoo, which has kind of been my signature piece.
Sorry, I love that one.
All right. Which is in this book, which is for sale. You should buy it.
How much is it?
$10.
Only $10? No, really, only 10?
I know, right?
It should be 20, Reagan. Yeah.
If you want to give me 20, I'm not, going to take that out of the price. I'm just saying.
Only $20.
The Afro petting zoo is closed. A public service announcement in 3 parts. 1. Freedom of speech is all cool, but sometimes my hair be talking shit. Not when she's twisted or braided down and wrapped in silk, but sometimes when freshly washed and oiled, smelling like coconut and ocean, billowing up and out, wild and free. She gets an attitude. She'd be talking to strangers. She'd be like, "Psst, hey. I look soft, don't I?" She says, "Touch me." Now, and this is important. Don't listen to her. 2, The following is a dramatization based on several unfortunately true events. It was Saturday night at the club. She was blonde and sparkly, shellacked into white go-go boots and a pink spandex mini dress that was made to hold much less of her. But she didn't care. It was her birthday. She was pink and special and the tequila was free. As she tottered out into the street, loosely supported by two equally drunk friends, her eyes fixed on me. A vision of chocolate goodness. The tremendous fluff of my fro, so soft, so downy. Black cotton candy cried out to her like a giant puffy siren singing her towards her own destruction. Touch me. I'm just as plush as that rabbit you had in kindergarten. Pet me. It all happened quickly. Startling the crowd of cool kids smoking by the door, she let out a squeal of elation. Yee! She shed her friends like a beer-stained coat and came careening towards me, the fat in her dress set into motion like two warring sock puppets tarped in pink. A mass of bubblegum jello jiggling, her two hands like the metal grabby claws in one of those glass bins filled with toys. Yee, coming closer. Yee, closer. The slap reverberated through the street. Smoking ceased. The bouncer eyed us warily. The only sound was the throb of Diva House spilling out from the club. The smile was turned upside down. Pink, sparkly lips quavered. But it's my birthday. You didn't have to. Oh, but I did. Don't let this happen to you. 3. It's big. It's invisible, and it surrounds me constantly. I like to call it my personal space bubble.
Yes.
In the words of singer-songwriter India Arie, I am not my hair. All views expressed by my hair are not necessarily my views, and the invitations issued by my hair are subject to interpretation and or possible recrimination, so to avoid potential litigation and or possible bitch slapping, treat me like I am the VIP lounge, complete with velvet ropes and burly men named Thor, forming a barrier between you and my hair. If you're not on the list, don't touch me. Last one. It's my apology poem. Whoever said love means never having to say you're sorry must have been one unapologetic bastard who knew nothing about love. Love is a perpetual landfill of sorry. A non-biodegradable toxic pit of I'm sorry. So sorry. Really sorry. Still fucking sorry, damn. With a nuclear half-life that will outlive us all. If love were a country, the official language would be apologies. Sure, some would speak baby talk. There would be the whispers of the sweet patois of sex and lust, but sorry would be the only language taught in schools. Seen on TV, heard on the radio. Street signs, the Bible, and the Constitution would be available exclusively in apologies. Because love is a dangerous country. A war-torn nation littered with perpetual mistakes. Every mistake, a half-buried mind waiting to explode and re-explode. Duck and cover. Don't you know that love is the trenches? Throw that sorry out there. A white waving flag, an olive branch, and I didn't mean to. Then watch that fucker burn. And still you say it. Scream it, sob it, lob it over your shoulder and run like hell in the other direction, hoping that for once it might land softly. A seed to fertile soil, the damp, welcoming earth with an open heart, but mostly it lands like a pinless grenade. A dart through a paint balloon, sloppy and piercing, leaving a stain that won't come out. You're sorry is an exploding bullet that ricochets off the bone, shattering the surrounding softness, the pinball equivalent of 50,000 points of collateral damage. And the only thing worse is not saying it. The only thing worse is not meaning it. The only thing worse is not giving a shit. So yes, love means having to say you're sorry. Sorry.